AITA for giving my Ronaldo-obsessed boyfriend an ultimatum after he chose a football final over our anniversary dinner? Hi Reddit, I'm Sarah, 28F, and I'm at my breaking point. My boyfriend, Mark, 30M, and I have been together for 5 wonderful years. He loves football, a true fanatic, especially when Cristiano Ronaldo is on the pitch. I've always respected that. But last night, our 5th anniversary, something shifted. He chose a football final, the UEFA Nations League final between Portugal and Spain, over our special dinner. He claimed he couldn't miss history, but it felt like he missed us. I'd spent weeks finding a reservation at that restaurant, the one we'd always dreamed of. Mark had promised to be there, but by 7 p.m., with kickoff nearing, he was glued to the TV, shouting about CR7. He just said we could celebrate tomorrow. Tomorrow is Monday. His passion for Ronaldo lifting another trophy seemed more important than me, or our milestone. I felt completely unprioritized. I tried talking to him, but he dismissed my feelings as overreacting. This isn't like Mark. He's usually attentive, considerate. This behavior felt off. I respected his love for the game, but this was extreme. It made me wonder why he was so different. He's always loved football, yes, but this level of absorption, this dismissal of our special night, it was unusual. I started to reflect. He had been a little bit different these last few weeks. Distant sometimes, often preoccupied, sneaking off to make calls or texting with an intensity one hadn't seen. My mind, of course, went to the worst places. Had he found someone else? Was he hiding something far more sinister? My heart ached with a terrible fear, a cold dread that began to creep in despite my rational mind fighting it. No, not Mark. He wasn't a cheater. Our trust ran too deep for that. But what else could it be? This sudden, fierce detachment, this unprecedented absorption in a football match, it didn't add up. I tried to calm myself. Maybe it was just the intensity of this match. The UEFA Nations League final between Portugal and Spain was truly an absolute thriller, billed as a master versus apprentice showdown between Cristiano Ronaldo and the young Lamine Yamal. The game ultimately ended 2-2 after extra time, pushing it to a nail-biting penalty shootout. Portugal held their nerve, securing the trophy. It was a fittingly dramatic end, showcasing both emerging talent and the enduring brilliance of Ronaldo. I understood it was an epic game, but did it justify ruining our anniversary? I told him if he couldn't see why this was a massive problem, then maybe we had no future. The words were painful, but I needed to know if he truly understood the depth of his actions. I decided I'd give him space. When we both calmed down, we'd have a serious conversation. I knew my husband. He valued our relationship. I had to believe there was a reason, however remote, for this bizarre behavior. The immediate aftermath of the match was still tense. Mark was ecstatic, still riding the high of Ronaldo's victory. I, on the other hand, was quietly fuming. 2 hours after the final whistle, as the celebrations in his online groups wound down, he finally approached me. The silence in the flat had been thick, heavy with my unspoken disappointment. He looked at me, his eyes softer now, a hint of genuine concern creeping in. "Sarah," he began, his voice earnest. "I know I messed up tonight. Badly. And I'm truly sorry." My guard was up, but I listened. He tried to explain his actions, not as an excuse, but as a window into his world. "Nothing, absolutely nothing, is more important than you, Sarah," he insisted, his voice gentle. This was one of those matches. The kind that comes along once in a decade. Ronaldo against Yamal in a final with that comeback, and then the penalty shootout. It was history being made. And I'm not just a fan of the game. I'm a big fan of Ronaldo's personality, his fight, his legacy. It felt like a moment I couldn't tear myself away from. He pleaded with me to understand the sheer intensity of that singular event for him. He stressed that it still didn't justify his actions, didn't excuse him dismissing my feelings, and he was genuinely sorry for that. My heart ached. He wasn't wrong about Ronaldo's impact, but it still hurt. I saw the sincerity in his eyes, but also a slight bewilderment that I couldn't quite share his level of obsession. I told him I appreciated his apology, but it wasn't enough. I needed more than just words. I needed to feel prioritized, truly seen. He nodded, looking defeated, but there was a flicker of something else in his eyes I couldn't quite place. A mixture of regret, but also a knowing look. It puzzled me. Monday. After a long, draining day at work, I returned home, weary and still a little heartbroken, expecting the usual quiet evening. Mark was usually home late on Mondays, but a small part of me hoped he'd be there, perhaps having cooked dinner as a gesture. What awaited me, however, was beyond any gesture I could have ever imagined. As I opened the front door, the usual familiar scent of our home was replaced by something else, the warm, inviting aroma of delicious food, mingled with the faint, unmistakable sound of a string quartet playing our song. My heart skipped a beat. The living room, usually bustling or quiet, was transformed. The lights were dimmed, replaced by the soft, flickering glow of dozens of candles. Our large home, usually just a comfortable space, was now a sanctuary of romance. Roses, their petals scattered artfully, led a path from the entrance to our beautifully set dinner table. The pool, which was normally just for leisure, shimmered under the ambient lighting, its surface scattered with even more rose petals. Mark was there, standing by the table, dressed impeccably, a gentle, nervous smile on his face. He held a single rose out to me. Tears welled in my eyes, blurring the already soft glow of the candles. This wasn't just a dinner. This was an event. This was a celebration of us, grander than anything we'd ever done. "Sarah," he said, his voice soft, "I know I messed up our anniversary. You deserve so much more. This is my attempt to show you just how much more." And then, he revealed the most unbelievable part. The string quartet playing our wedding song. It was the exact band that had played at our wedding. The very same one we had danced our first dance to, the one we often reminisced about. It all clicked into place. The sudden football obsession, the distant behavior, the missed anniversary dinner. Mark had been planning this the entire time. He explained that the band wasn't available until Monday, and that combined with the match, he'd used his Ronaldo obsession as a cover, a seemingly reasonable excuse to postpone our anniversary celebration. He knew how much I disliked noisy restaurants on anniversaries, how I always wished for something more intimate, more unique. He wanted a truly special celebration, not just our usual restaurant visit. He'd taken Monday off work, dedicating the entire day to meticulously preparing everything in our big home, setting the dinner table with delicious food, arranging the roses and candles, ensuring every detail was perfect. I looked at him, tears streaming down my face, not of sadness, but of overwhelming joy and disbelief. He'd spent weeks planning this, meticulously arranging every detail, and likely months carefully hiding his preparations from me. The sheer thoughtfulness, the depth of his love, the genius of his misdirection. It was breathtaking. This wasn't just a football fan's apology. This was a testament to a man who knew me, truly knew me, and would go to extraordinary lengths to make me feel cherished. My anniversary this year didn't end with a romantic dinner in a restaurant. It ended with a monumental, unforgettable, and truly beautiful surprise right in our own home. And for that, I am profoundly grateful. I truly have the best husband in the world.